G'day guys, well it's been a very long time since I've done a video and I apologise. I haven't actually seen the Nugget since the last time I drove it to Phillip Island. Seriously, I dropped it off the next day. I haven't seen it since. That was what, 2 months ago or something? I've been flat out with work. I'm not joking. I've had 1 day off in the last month and a bit. So it's been pretty full. It's great because I'm self-employed, so that means we're catching up with money, all that sort of stuff. Anyway, enough of that. Where are we at with this Subaru? As you saw in the intro, we are missing a lot of the engine bay. But before we get to that, let me run you through where we're at. So the last video, we what do? We cleaned up the inside and we got it all working and we got the car registered and it was actually really good. I've been driving it around. We did a few other little things. So the rear wheel bearings were actually shagged in it, and our friend Josh at Line Automotive, he had some Subi hubs sitting up in his storage area. He's like, I don't want them because they did a STI conversion on WX. And so he's like, yeah, you can have them. The bearings are good. So I brought them home a couple of hours, changed them out, and the back of the car's quiet as now. So thank you so much, Josh. You're a legend. One of the other things we got was from one of the legends in the Nugget workshop. He's turning one of these bad boys, exactly the same wagon, into a race car, which is really cool. And he's like, yeah, do you need any interior parts? I was like, the thing I'm struggling to find is this, the cargo blinds. So they're really hard to find for this car. So he's like, yeah, no worries. And while he's at it, he gave me a full tow bar set up for it. So thank you so much, man. That's really kind of you. What a legend. Apart from that, we've been fixing up a few little things. So we did, I've got, oh, where is it? Yeah. So I've got a new dash fascia thing for the stereo. So we're going to clean that up and put that in, which would be really nice. And that's the interior, pretty clean and done. So anyway, I was driving this puppy around for weeks, so I'm now shooting for Street Machine, which is pretty cool. So Scotty and Kian over there for the Carnage series. So I've been driving to Dandenong every day, which is about an hour and a quarter. And it's been really good in the Subi because it's an automatic and it's cheap on fuel and that sort of stuff. And I've been driving it there and it's been fantastic. And then when we did the last event at Phillip Island, I was driving my wife's Volvo because that's what I towed the XL with. And she was driving the Subi. And then this happened. Remember that $1,200 Subaru I bought? That was a great bargain. Here it is on the side of the freeway. Awesome. So yeah, it wasn't anything big. The top tank split on the radiator and basically blew coolant all over the freeway. Unfortunately, at the time, I was dropping the XL off on one side of the bay and she was at the other end of the bay on the other end of the freeway. Luckily, my in-laws came and got her and my daughter. They left the car there and my dad and I went with the trailer, picked up the Subi. Matty Tucker from Get Parts, legend, got me a new radio the next day, put it in, car was great. So I drove it around again for a few weeks and yeah, it's been really good, really comfy to drive. It's gutless, it has no power, but it's comfy, it's fuel efficient, it's everything I needed out of a daily. Until the head gasket went. So these cars, I have no idea of the history of this car. It's had a rough life. And a lot of Subis are notorious for head gaskets going, but mainly the 2.5 litre model. The 2 litre, the EJ20, usually doesn't have head gasket issues. Unfortunately, this one does. So when it'd be okay cruising, but then when I put my foot down, I'd start getting air, basically the compression would go into the water system, the overflow bottle would start overflowing, and I'd get all sorts of weird noises. And then it would overheat and I'd have to stop the car to draw coolant back in from the overflow, and it was good again, but I couldn't keep going like that. But I figured, you know what, I need to do the timing belt. I have no idea how old the timing belt is and it did look pretty haggard. It was weeping oil like you couldn't believe. Like my driveway's covered in oil stains, so you know I needed rocket cover gaskets, cam seals and all that. So you know what, I'm gonna rip the whole thing apart and do it. So we went and saw it once again. Our mate Matty Tucker at Get Parts. And he got me all the bits I need. So here's where we're at. So I took the heads off and we fully rebuilt the heads. So that's I've got one half back on. We got them surfaced at a guy down the road. I got them pressure tested, make sure they weren't cracked or anything like that, and then went through and did I took the valves out. I lapped the valves in, make them all seated nicely, put new seals in. Heads should be good. So both heads are now rebuilt and ready to go back on. We got ourselves all new gaskets. So we've got new pulleys. So all our idler pulleys, these are all new. We've got a new water pump because while we're in here, we may as well. obviously new head gaskets, and I'm also doing new oil lines, new everything. It's not that expensive, and once you're this far into a car, just do it. Oh, obviously, and new head studs, you know, in case you're worried about that. So that's where we're at with this. I didn't really want to spend the money, but I'd come so far with this car now, and it is a good little car. I know it still looks a bit like crap, but I figured, why not? We'll get all the parts, and I'm still, even though I've spent more on this car than I wanted to, I'm still well below what a car like this would cost me if I bought it in good condition. Also, I'd probably have to do things like timing belts or leaky cam covers and all that sort of stuff, even if I bought a car in decent condition, because there's a Subaru that does these things. So I would have done it regardless. So now I'm probably, where are we at? I'm probably about $3 in on this car, maybe a bit more, 3.5. That's not too bad. I'm still good. We'll do a coat of paint on this, just for this on the bonnet, and it'll be good. But anyway, now I've got to finish putting this engine back together. Unfortunately, this has not been a fast process, because being so flat out, I'm basically, when I'm not working, I'm looking after my daughter. She goes down for a 2-hour nap during the day, which is what that time is now, and I just get 2 hours to work on the car, and then go back in and look after her or do some work and stuff like that. So it's been a slow process. But anyway, if you want to see any of this, I do post on the Nugget Workshop now and again about this, and that's my update. It's not that exciting. However, we do have some cool Nugget stuff coming up. Racy stuff that doesn't involve the Nugget as well, which I'm really excited about, and I'm going to announce that in the next couple of days. And we will get back to racing. I promise. I'm going to dial down work a bit. Yeah, I'm working too much and I'm not having any fun. So we're going to dial that back and get back to race car stuff. And I've got a really cool video coming up, so I'm keen to share that with you. Anyway, quick update. Thanks for watching, guys, and thanks for everybody that helped me out with this car with parts and everything. Josh from Line Automotive, and obviously Maddie from Get Parts. You guys are legends. And yeah, I'll see you soon for a video. Keep watching. So I was going to finish the video off there, but then I finished the car, so I figured, why not show you? Here we go. She sounds about as good as a single cam Subaru ever does, but I'm happy with that. Yeah, so the engine went back together great. It's when you take the heads off the Subi, for people who haven't worked on horizontally opposed engines before, as you take the heads off, obviously the oil comes out the engine and the exhaust manifold's right underneath it. I'm sure you could cover it up. I didn't think about that. I dumped a bunch of oil in the exhaust, so when you first started up, boom, clouds of white smoke. I should have filmed it. It was hilarious. But yeah, the car's done and it drives great. I've only driven it once. We're back in lockdown in Melbourne. Fun times. So I drove into the city day before lockdown to go pick up a camera lens, and it drove amazing. I'm so happy. The other thing we've done is I finished up the interior. Sorry, too much sun. Let's try and shield the camera here a bit. So I got this new surround in here. I remounted the stereo further back and repainted it all to match. So this is actually the same color. I'm going to probably paint the wheels. It's a charcoal style color, but it looks nice and neat. It's good, and put a clear coat on it, but that stereo all fits nice and neat. And I know this is in a bit of a weird spot, but I've also mounted this as a volume switch, so you can change the volume on the stereo. The reason I did that is the volume buttons are over here and they're a bit hard to reach, and also when you're sort of strapped in the car, because I'm pretty sure it's designed for a European stereo, like a European setup with the steering wheel on the left, so the volume controls are on the wrong side. So anyway, I just wired this in as a volume switch, which is nice and easy, and also because you can't feel these buttons, you don't have to look down. You can just kind of drop your hand down, feel the switch, and adjust the volume, which is easy, and it lights up with the headlights and all that stuff. So yeah, that's the interior done. The engine hopefully is done. Now we just need to do a coat of paint on it. We are waiting, hopefully, well, in the next sort of 20 minutes, we're going to find out whether we are continuing lockdown or not. If we are, I think I'm just going to order some rattle cans online and just paint the sucker in the driveway, because, well, another week of sitting at home, might as well do something. Can't work. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. I know the Subi isn't everyone's taste, but I think this car is turning out to be a little ripper daily. I'm pretty happy with it. And we will get back to race car stuff soon, as I said. Thanks for watching, gang. Speak soon.